Today we are going to make these awesome tree trunks from the original tutorial by Van Oaks Props. Let's get into it. The first thing you're going to need are some buckets. I picked these up from Marketplace because unlike Derek at Van Oaks Props, I don't have anything like this lying around. I got all three of these for $10 though, so that's a bit of a bargain. We need to get the handles off first, and if you've got a Dremel, definitely use that, but I couldn't be bothered getting mine out, so I just used a Stanley knife and hacked at it. I did have some cardboard lying around though, so I just grabbed some cardboard and I lined it up with where I wanted it to be, and then I used my scissors to mark the point where I needed to cut. Probably a better idea to use a pen, but again, I couldn't be bothered going to get one. For the first one that I cut, I did mark where I was cutting, but for the rest of them, I just guesstimated, and that seemed to work out fine. Once I had cut all my pieces, I grabbed my very old but trusty glue gun and just simply glued them all the way around. I tried to make sure they weren't too symmetrical so it resembled more of an organic tree trunk. Now onto the spray foam. I've got this core flute base that I used in another project, and I like using this when I'm spray foaming because it's really easy to peel off the project at the end. The spray foam I'm using is just the cheapest one from Bunnings. It does come in two sizes, so make sure you grab the 750 gram bottle. And then for the top of your tree trunk, work in a circle so that it resembles the rings of a tree. Take your time with spray foaming. I've actually put this into real time for you so that you can see how slow I'm going. I don't want to waste any spray foam because the cost of it really does add up. And not only that, I don't want to spend ages shaving it off in the next step. Make sure you've got a water spray bottle on hand, and after you've spray foamed a small section, wet your hand or wet the area that you've been working on and give it a quick pat down. You need to do this within the first 2 or 3 minutes after you've spray foamed. If you wait too long, you won't be able to pat it down. It will just stick to your hand instead. This is an important step and it does make a difference. In a second, I will show you a comparison between one I remembered to pat down and one I completely forgot about. If you have any spray foam left in the can when you've finished, grab a piece of wire and stick it down the nozzle until you can hear that air release. I've stored my spray foam like this for about a year and it was perfect the next time I came to use it. And we've finished spray foaming. Now let me show you the difference between one I patted down with water and one I didn't. So this one I did, you can see it's nice and flat. I'm not going to need to do too much shaving on this one. And this one I didn't. And it's quite puffy and I'm going to need to do a lot of work on this one. Now you need to grab your Surform tool, I got mine from Total Tools, and get to work shaving off all that spray foam that you've just put on. I ended up not taking off too much of mine, although there were some areas I wish I'd taken off more, but do as much or as little as you like here. It is really messy work, so have some kind of shop vac or vacuum cleaner or dustpan and brush on hand to clean up as you go. This is where I detoured from the original tutorial. There's two reasons for that. A, I didn't want to make up a batch of monster mud, and B, it's really important to me that my props are lightweight for storage reasons. What I might be sacrificing though is strength, so bear that in mind if you decide to skip the monster mud step. I had an old tin of exterior paint lying around, so that's what I'm using. But usually I head to Marketplace to see if I can pick up a tin of paint from people who've painted their house and have some left over. I've done 2 coats of paint on my tree trunks, and I've made sure to get into all the nooks and crannies. This is important because when it comes to the spray paint step, you want to make sure you've got a good even coverage of exterior paint so that the spray paint doesn't eat the foam. And let's get on with the spray painting. I went to a cheap old store and bought any old can of brown spray paint. Unfortunately, I didn't check whether it was gloss or matte, so my tree trunks have come out a bit glossier than I would like, which I'm probably going to fix next year. But if this is important to you, make sure that your can is matte. 2 of my tree trunks are looking pretty different to the first one at this point because I ran out of spray paint. I would say it took me 2 cans to do all 3 trees. Dry brushing is my favorite part of any project that I do because it's when your prop really starts to come alive. Here I'm just going in with an acrylic paint very creatively called brown. I'm going on pretty liberally with this colour and I'm adding lots of highlights all over the trunk. I then start layering my colours, going from the darkest colour to the lightest colour. The colours I used are pretty much what Van Oaks props used, but I will list them below for you. Dry brushing is one of those techniques that's personal, so go as heavy or as light as you want here. Just keep going until it looks good to you. I love how these tree trunks have turned out, and I think they look great with my jack-o'-lantern sitting on them. Or one year I may pop a skeleton on top or something extra creepy. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and go and check out the original tutorial by Van Oaks Props. See you next time!
I got a joke for you. Oh, okay. What's a skeleton's favorite meal?
I don't know, what?
Give up. Spare ribs.